Welcome back to the Spoonie and Caregiver Life podcast with me, your host, Jordan Banderas. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode, shall we? Have you ever felt insecure? I have definitely felt insecure before. But in my case, here's the thing. I didn't know what the actual word meant, to be honest. So I had to figure. I went on the hunt for the actual definition because curiosity got the best of me, and let's be honest, I am curious now, especially with everything that's going on with my wife. That's how I have been able to get the answers that we need from and asking questions. So I looked up the word's meaning, which is not confident or assured, uncertain, or anxious, and anxious, which after actual word, I knew I fit the bill, and I was like, wow, I am really insecure. And pretty much my entire life. I have shared some of the things that have happened to me in the past, and obviously that made me insecure. So I'm okay with that because after I realized this, I started working on my insecurities to get to this point where I sound better, speak better, and learn something new every day. That's one of my goals, learn something new every day because I was so insecure about learning before, but now I'm not. And look, I'm not saying this to brag. The reason why I'm saying this is because many of us don't know what the word means or don't think that we are insecure. Even though sometimes a lot of people tells us like, "Oh, you seem to be insecure." We don't want to believe it. And when I saw this with other people, I also realized that my insecurities were holding me back. And I'm gonna share this with you real quick here. Um, and I'm gonna be honest as well. I was insecure when I was going to my therapy, because of my PTSD. And also, I was so insecure when I was going to marriage counseling with my wife. And I was especially insecure when I was going to my wife's doctors with her because of my English. That was one of my insecurities because I didn't want to be looked down upon because I have been in the States for a long time, but learning a new language is hard. Believe me, if it was that easy, anybody could do it, literally. Especially when there's no natural support to learn from. Due to this, I feel like I wasn't a good caregiver, which made it worse because I couldn't really tell my therapist how I was feeling, or I couldn't really talk about like the marital issues that we were having when I was going to the marriage counseling with my wife, or I couldn't ask the questions to the doctor or really understand what they were saying. I was just like, and that's an insecurity if you don't talk about it. Like if you don't ask questions and you're like, everything's gonna be fine. That's also an insecurity. That makes you insecure because you don't wanna talk. Pretty much, you don't wanna ask a question because you don't know how to either word it or you don't even know how to actually ask it. But like I said, this made me feel like I wasn't a good caregiver, and sometimes due to some conversations that I have had with other people, they feel the same way. That's why I wanted to talk about this because, in my case, my wife has helped me tremendously with my English, and I'm getting better every day. As you can see on the episodes, if you listen to the first episode to now, it's like, wow, that's an improvement. And I know that is an improvement. But this is how my insecurities have held me back by not giving my wife the best help she needs. Or, yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is because I couldn't really help her with the doctors and things like that. And here's the thing though, because I'm the husband, I feel like I have to have everything figured out. That's something that society tells us, that everybody says like, oh, you're the husband, you need to get your family in check, get everything in order, you have to have everything figured out by the time that you're married. But that's not how life works, though. That's not exactly how it works. And due to all these insecurities as well, by not having my life figured out due to, I don't know, bad judgments, bad influences, or whatever, just life in general, like, or not having a good support system, or not having good people to follow, like a good example. I have also missed other opportunities like jobs and investments due to being insecure, because I was like, I don't want to lose my money, or I don't want to leave this job because of this reason, like you don't want to step out of your comfort zone. That's one of the things that you will know that you're insecure, if you don't want to step out of your comfort zone. And like I have said, I have seen this happen to so many people, and it doesn't matter if you're a spoonie or not. We all have insecurities. That's pretty much one of the things that makes us human. We are insecure, depending on how we're raised, or depending on what we see, or depending on how we feel about ourselves. That's gonna provide us with some insecurities that we have to work on. And there's so many examples, and I'm gonna share some examples that I have done myself. Like, this is something that I have done, and some examples that I have actually seen with people when it comes to insecurities, which are like, a lot of people stay in relationships or jobs they hate because they think they won't find another job or a partner. I have seen that happening so many times. Like, probably it has happened to you, or you have a friend, your best friend, or somebody that is doing the exact same thing, complains about the partner or the job. But when you say like, how come you don't leave, they're like, I don't know, what if I don't like the next person, or I don't like the new job, or things like that. We also don't switch doctors for the same reason. This is what was happening to my wife. When I met her, she was going to this doctor that she hated. The doctor, didn't pay attention to her at all. And I was like, why don't we switch doctors? Like, in my mind, it's like, just switch doctors. But in her mind, she felt anxious and insecure about it, because it's like, oh, what if the new doctor doesn't like me, or what if the new doctor doesn't do the same things that this other doctor does for me, which were not like the best treatment, but still. So in the end, I was able to convince her to switch doctors, and we have switched doctors so many times that we finally found the right doctors for her. And we also don't seek new treatments for the same reason, because we feel that it might not even work. We don't use, or I mean, we don't want to use our wheelchairs, walkers, or canes, because we feel insecure. That happens a lot. I've seen it with people. A lot of people are like, I don't need my cane, even though I'm in a lot of pain. My wife does this. I don't need to use my wheelchair because I don't want people to look at me. That's an insecurity. And this is the one that makes me angry. That's the only way that I can put it. Because sometimes we don't want to take our medicines because we feel unsure about how people might view them. Like when you're in a lot of medications, like anxiety medicines or pain medicines, and you tell people, and people are like, "Oh, you're in a lot of medications." They judge you, so you don't wanna take that judgment, or you don't wanna feel that judgment, because you don't wanna be seen like somebody that just wants the medicine. Like an addict or something like that. That's how sometimes my wife feels like. It's like, she's all like, I don't want to take so many medications because I feel like an addict. And I'm like, you're not an addict though. You're taking these medications for your pain, or for your anxiety, or for whatever you're going through. So if it helps you, take it, and don't care about other people's judgments. And these are all examples of insecurities of some sort. And there are so many more. Probably you have your own examples. You have seen some of these examples I have given. And probably you will feel frustrated just like I do, especially if you're a caregiver and seeing all of this, or if you're a spoonie and seeing all of this. And if you're not, probably you have some of your own examples as well, which is totally fine. And one thing that I do want to say about this, that when you're working on your insecurities, it's up to you or us in this situation to figure out what they are. Because what if you stop feeling like that and decide to take a new chance in life? You stop feeling insecure about certain things, and you decide to live your life the way that you want to. Decide to go to the doctors that you want, go to get the treatments that you want, even if it sounds very woo woo, like, stem cells, Cambo, Reiki, all of these things, like, like Eastern medicine, and it helps you. That's the best thing. It's like, what if it helps you? And what about if you can get the right doctor for you that will give you the best treatments possible for your condition, Like, that's pretty much what happened with us. We switched the doctors so many times and we found the right one. And my wife stopped being insecure about switching doctors and having to start all over again with her story. It worked. So that's why I'm saying this. Or, best part of all, if you're a caregiver, and what about if you get a better job that will let you take care of your family and yourself without the stress, without dealing with the bad management, without dealing with all this pressure that you might be going on, all this pressure that you might have right now because of the job that you have right now. And best of all, you love the new workplace. It's like you're home away from home. Like, that could happen, You never know. Or also, what about if you stop caring about what others think of you because they don't understand your illness? You let that insecurity go, and you're like, you know what? My illness is invisible, and I don't care if you don't understand it. I'm the one suffering, not you. So I'm going to do, say, and act the way that I want to, because I'm the one in pain, not you. I don't have to fit in your picture. I'm going to fit in my picture. That's, I think, an important reason, don't you? I honestly do think that that's an important reason to start working on your insecurities, to feel better about yourself. Now, I do want to say this though. Dealing with this, whenever you decide to work on your insecurities, will mean that you have to look at your past to see when the first time was that you felt insecure. And I'm not gonna lie, it is going to be painful. There will be tears, but you will feel so much better once you work on it based on the experiences you find. This is something that I did and it worked for me. This is something that my wife is doing, and it's actually helping her a lot. That's why I'm just putting it out there. So if you want to try it, all you have to do is try. You don't lose anything. Now, one thing that I also want to say, I know I like to say a lot of things. You don't have to do it alone. That's one thing that, that's one reason why a lot of people don't want to work on themselves, because you feel, or we feel, that we have to do it alone, but you don't have to, because you can talk to a good friend, you can look for the best therapist for your needs, or you can just write it down, you can journal and then read it, and that's actually going to help you. So it's up to you how you want to do it, but you don't have to do it alone. That's the best part. Nah. And when dealing with this, the important thing is to do what's best for you, and not what's best based on others people's judgment. So you have to literally let go of all that judgment that people have put upon you or on you, and and you have to let that go and be like, you know what, this is for me, this is not for them, this is for me, so I can actually be able to handle them, like that's how I see it. Any help, so hopefully this helps you, and hopefully you can work on your insecurities, especially if you're a spoonie or a caregiver, because I know it's hard. I've been on that road. I have walked that, not alone, because I had my wife with me. If you have your spouse, your partner, whatever, whoever is going to help you, just tell them, like, I'm going to need you by my side. And if they're willing to help you, they will be there, okay? Or you can just literally talk to us in our community, or on our community, and we will help you, we will cheer you on, okay? But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today on today's episode. That I think that this is very important because of everything that has happened the past year or 18 months or whatever. So that's why I wanted to talk about this. And once again, thank you for all the feedback, thank you for all the support, thank you for everything that you guys are doing to make the podcast grow. We are growing, we're gaining more listeners, which is something that I really really appreciate, because it's all thanks to you. And with that said, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe so we can keep growing. And you can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you want to share your story, you can actually send it to me at the Spoonie and Caregiver Life at gmail.com, or you can post it on our community on Facebook, the Spoonie and Caregiver Life community. And again, thank you, I really really appreciate it. I appreciate your feedback and everything you guys are doing for the podcast to grow. I really really appreciate it. Again, like I said, I'm very appreciative, I guess. And I leave you like always, always take care of yourself and have a great day.